Welcome, Wastelanders, to a little slice of a landlocked wasteland, a dirty dystopian enclave, if you will. But, well, not that kind of enclave, although perhaps there are similarities. A world where the White Picket Realty is fronting a darker, perhaps more corrupt reality. You're going to find that depth and substance is a recurring theme this episode. Keep your mystery meat. I've had spaghetti. We watched 2016's The Bad Batch.
Hello everybody and welcome to Pod Never Changes, the Fallout Movies podcast where we seek out various movies and try and score them based on how Fallout they are. Fallout. Fallout. And that's the video game franchise Fallout. I'm sure people are familiar by now. So we're trying to find out the most Fallout movie to have existed on the planet. I'm LJ. Hello. And I'm here with the baddest batch on the planet, Ricky. Hello.
An entire batch. That's me, Ricky. Hey. Hello.
You are an entire batch. As per that, the Bad Batch coming up, we'll be going through our great rating system to score the film. You'll dive into that a little bit later. Talk a little bit about our Fallout history or our views on Fallout franchise or some hypothetical scenarios. I've got a hypothetical scenario for you today. And then we'll dip into, going through the rating system a little bit of background on the film, and we'll run through and walk through the very deep dialogue heavy plot that we've got in this movie as we rack up points, and then we'll discuss those points at the end, as well as a little twist at the end where we'll see maybe how we might integrate the film into the video game series itself. Great. All right. How you doing?
Bad.
You're bad.
Like a batch. Yeah. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Doing
what
okay.
What even is a bad batch? I don't know.
Well, apparently it's significant enough that the government would designate Bad Batch
in Texas.
In Texas.
Hey-ho. All right, cool. All right, so my question for you this week is a hypothetical. Mm-hmm. You're a producer in Hollywood, and you have a Fallout script on your table, or a Fallout spec script on your table.
AI generated?
Yeah, let's say it. You're assigning a director and a lead to make this Fallout movie. Who you picking, why, and who's going to be starring as your presumably Vault Dweller. That's usually what it is if you're going to do a Fallout movie.
So it's a Vault Dweller. They're called probably Sam, so they've not been assigned male or female.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going... Oh. And it's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
Okay.
And maybe because you're a producer, you're kind of thinking maybe this can be, pivoting into a whole franchise. Who knows? So you really wanted to hit off.
Okay. So for the sake of a franchise, for the sake of certain fandom elements, I'm going to throw a curveball and say Charlie Brooker. Booker? Booker. Charlie Brooker? Charlie Brooker.
Charlie Brooker. I'm not even familiar. Who's Charlie Brooker? Tell me.
I originally knew him from weird, awkward TV comedy for the BBC, but then he made Black Mirror.
Oh, okay, right, okay, yeah, that Charlie Brooker. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Charlie Brooker, Charlie Brooker. Is Charlie Brooker a pop star or a TV?
I think Charlie Brooker is the guy that you're
Charlie
after,
Brooker,
right?
yeah,
Charlie Brooker.
Sorry, that's
gotcha.
my
interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
in front of. So I like that idea just because I feel like he can get the balance of awkward humor and dystopia thrown in, and I feel like he can get the pre and post end of the world going in, I think. Who would I attach? Like it might. Who's attached to it? Oh, it got to be American. Well, no, they don't
Yeah.
because.
Well, I mean, yeah, they can.
Lucy
no, as long as-
Parnell is not American, so.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm trying to picture emerging from the vault, or maybe it stays in the vault. Who knows? Maybe they don't even get out. But who looks good in blue? It's got to be. Oh, they've got to be able to do shucks, right?
Yeah. Like you can't have like, I don't know, Keanu Reeves.
You could. He's played British.
Yes, of course, sir. If I may inquire, what in fact happened to Mr. Renfield in Transylvania?
Well, no. He was cast as British.
Well, yeah.
And he was totally. Oh, I think we're short. It's Keanu Reeves, man. Okay, I'm going to come back to. I'm going to think. You tell me who's your director, and then I will come
Well,
to you.
yeah, it's a good job I've thrown this question to you because I've not really thought about it thoroughly. I had a few names that popped up into my head. Just on Charlie Brooker, like I think there's
Who?
Charlton Brooker. Charlton. That's what I'm seeing on the letterbox. Charlie Brooker.
It is
It is Brooker. It is Brooker.
There we
Yeah,
go.
it is
There we
Brooker.
go.
You're right, yeah.
I got it. Wrong, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was just looking at his the filmography on Letterboxd because I think a lot of the Black Mirror episodes are treated as like standalone things.
Yeah.
And the covers of them are great, and they really fall into the like astoundingly awesome.
I was gonna say I think you could
comics,
reimagine every episode
astoundingly
as
awesome
a
tales.
astoundingly awesome tales
aesthetic,
style
so that's
comic.
That's kind of fun.
I imagine.
Yeah, you could. No, that's a very good shout because like I feel like he would tease out the satire very well. Damn. Okay. Who would I have? So I had a couple of thoughts in my head. One was the more kind of serious, gritty take, and he's already shown, talent for teasing out an adaptation. So that's Denis Villeneuve. Obviously he's very successfully adapted a hard to adapt book in Dune. So that'd be the more sort of serious, gritty one, and then the thought that I had with a more sort of fun, zany one. There's two. Edgar Wright,
and he's done comic books, right? He's done
edited
Scott
zany
Pilgrim, right? So
take.
he's
and then,
adapted.
The other Sam. You watched his new film, by the way, Send Help?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I like the idea of it.
It was just there was something in it where it's like, okay, I thought the concept was one thing, and then I remembered it was a Sam Raimi film as I was watching it, and then loads of Raimi-isms came out, and I think that would lend itself very well to like all of the face shots that you get in Fallout. When you're talking to NPCs.
Weapon POV. So like if
exactly
that kind of thing.
That's it. So I think I'll land. My final answer is Sam Raimi. I think that would be it. I think it'd make a fun deal out of it. Maybe pulling out some of the horror as well.
Yeah, I think actor wise, I think I don't know the lead. I definitely want Nick Cage in there, purely because he is such a dad at the moment. He's got that because he has, he might explode into something at any point. He has an interesting, like, awkward dad energy. So I feel like he could play definitely somebody in the vault, but not the lead. You know what? Rachel McAdams, you've just said Send Help. Screw it.
Yeah, I'd love her in that. Yeah, in the new film. So
she can lead. She's got the gears. She's got the humor. She's got the drama and tension. I think, Rachel McAdams.
I'm going to throw in, just to keep the Sam Raimi link, Tobey Maguire. Bring him back. He can play a kind of a nerdy, wide-eyed vault dweller. So yeah, bring back the pairing.
I feel like he's a bit like, oh goodness, who plays Frodo Baggins? they have that similar thing of Elijah Wood. There we go. They have that similar thing of they play calm and nerdy, like you say, but there's a kind of an element of quiet danger about them.
Yeah.
So that might work. Okay, so that's casting. Is there anything else do you think do we need to throw in about this? Because I'm trying to think if it's Rachel McAdams with her dad as
I'll tell you what. I think what we can do is we can in subsequent episodes where I have another question, we can continue building our.
Okay, so we're going to
continue building our ideal Fallout.
We're going to go plot
film.
We're going to go plot and other things as we go. Okay, I like that.
Let's do it. Okay, so this week we've got The Bad Batch from 2016. It's a dystopian film. I guess it's very genre spanning, I think intentionally by the director, who's Anna Lily Amirpour, who the name rang a bell, and then I realized I had one of her films on my list for a long time, which I've still not watched. I probably will do soon, having just seen this. Her main claim to fame is a film she done called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It's an Iranian film. I think that was a kind of breakout.
I think is she British American but Iranian?
Both, yeah, British American, Iranian, yeah, all of the above, yeah. So yeah, actually, I'm assuming the Iranian because A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is an Iranian film. So let me actually just double check that.
Why are you double checking? What were the expectations? Why was this movie picked?
So I was actually going through a bunch of Fallout lists on Letterboxd because people have actually assembled this. It's a thought that people have had before as well, and yeah, I kept seeing. Obviously, we've got our own list that we've kept, and a lot of the films that I was seeing on other people's lists were ones that were already there. This was one that I kept seeing that wasn't on our list. And then there was someone who I should probably give a shout out, but I don't have the name at hand. But someone who's a kind of specialist on New Vegas in particular had this film quite high up. So I was expecting a New Vegas energy from the movie.
Well, I guess we'll discuss if we found that it did.
Yeah, she's a filmmaker of Iranian descent. Yeah, movies starring Suki Waterhouse, who again name I sort of vaguely knew but didn't know who she was. But
I've known the name. I've never that I'm aware of seen anything of Suki Waterhouse's, but I
kept seeing her next to what's his name? Is it Robert Pattinson? So I think they may. Yes, they're together, and the people who are in the know are like, yeah, no shit,
right?
But yeah, they're together, and they have a daughter. So, but she's not like primarily an actor though, right? Like
I was going to say, was she a model or something? I feel like I've seen a bunch of collabs, Suki Waterhouse collabs, those types of things.
Yeah, so, I mean, she's done as an actress, singer, and model. So all of the above.
Oh, I have seen another movie. I've seen Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Oh, okay. Was she? Yeah,
apparently, she's in that. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, Suki Waterhouse, Jason Momoa, Keanu Reeves, and Giovanni Ribisi. So it's quite a kind of star-studded cast, relatively, but it kind of not. Oh, and Jim Carrey. Sorry, forgot to mention Jim Carrey. I saw someone posting about the film, and they were saying, and I guess this is kind of spoiler in what the film is like, but they said it's such a weird movie. I don't understand why all of these names were attached. But actually, I was looking back at this, and obviously, Suki Waterhouse, not like a sort of household name actor. Jason Momoa, at the time, he hadn't really done anything. He turned up in Batman v Superman, I think the same year or the year before. So he'd sort of come out of Game of Thrones, but he'd not really had, he's not become what he is now. Keanu Reeves as well, this is not I don't think it's pre John Wick, but it's Keanu's a weird one because he'll kind of turn up in random films, in random roles. I quite liked him in this. So again, he's not the guy who's starring in films unless it's a John Wick.
I feel like it's a girl walks home alone at night. From what I can tell, it was a debut feature length movie. I feel like it's been generally positively received, so it might be hype.
It could be hype, but I also think it's,
which is not a bad thing, and it's also like, I feel like, was this written, directed, and produced by Anna Lily. It's Anna Lily.
Yeah.
I want to say Lily Anna. I do apologize, Anna Lily. But like with the director, she wrote it and produced it, I think. And so like, is this a case of she was given a big budget? It was a Netflix original, right?
Yeah, it's not a big budget. So it's a big budget. On the budget, it's $6 million. Okay. It isn't. I don't know if it's a Netflix original as such, but it was distributed on Netflix. And it kind of throws up the question of like, I've got the box office here. It's about 200,000, but it had a limited release with Neon in cinemas, as Netflix films sometimes do, to like qualify for awards and stuff. But then went straight to Netflix streaming. So I guess this kind of, when you move into the streaming era, it's hard, the box office numbers kind of are meaningless at this point.
Yeah.
So who knows how well it did? Netflix will keep their data well and truly hidden. So that's the cast list and the budget box office. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes, what you thinking? Critics, popcorn meter?
I think this might speak about how I felt about the movie, in that I feel like critics didn't like it, and I feel like the audience did. I would go it's out of 100, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna say about 55 for critics.
45, not far off.
45. Okay. I was being like maybe kindish to it. Audience, I'm gonna guess. I think audience liked it. I'm gonna give 60.
No, audience actually disliked it more than the critics. 30%. Yeah,
30%.
Yeah, and then on that, it's a 5.2 on IMDb and a 2.6 on Letterboxd.
See, it's funny. Like watching this, I was thinking, not really a spoiler here, and I'll probably talk about it later. I didn't particularly like it.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I was watching it, and I think like a cynical jerk that I am, I was thinking, yeah, I bet people bloody fucking love this. You know what I mean? No, just like, I was like, I hate this, but I bet somebody fucking loves it. But
I think it's too again, we won't go into it too deeply, but I think it's too genre spanning. It's too kind of a little bit of everything to please the general audience. I think it would be deemed a bit too odd.
I will put it this way. It feels like the passion project that somebody is denied until they're on their 30th movie and they finally make it. It's Megalopolis. However, this director thought, I can do it with my second movie, and somebody greenlit it, and they made it. And I mean, they made it for $6 million, whereas it probably should have been a $100 million movie with a heavily seasoned director with perhaps a couple more passes on the script or whatever. But I feel like this is like, it's imagine if Francis Ford Coppola did make Megalopolis 40 years ago.
Yeah.
With budgetary and studio constraints, it would have been this. Not that it's necessarily, I've not seen Megalopolis, I've just seen the clips where it's hilarious. Where it's hilarious.
I've actually seen no clips. I just know the reaction to the film. But yeah,
we came to pay our respects, Grandpa.
What do you think of this boner I got?
I'm going to watch it at some point, just when I've got 2.5 hours or whatever it is. Anyway,
if I remember, I'll try and get clips from the internet and just paste them in here randomly. Phrases that people say.
God. So yeah, that's the movie. I was trying to sort of dig up trivia about it. I couldn't find much, to be honest, other than the shorts that Suki Waterhouse is wearing in movie, which are quite kind of iconically placed in the promotion for it, like the poster, etc., are worn by Yolandi Visser, who's an artist as part of, I guess, a German band called Die Antwoord. You probably know them. I don't know your music.
Are they South African?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Are they South African? Am I forgetting the right people? The
I have no idea. But they're in their music video for "Babies on Fire." She's wearing the
hip hop duo
shorts.
Hip hop duo.
And this is quite a music heavy movie, so I think clearly
they were featured in
some of those.
Is it Chappie? And I'm pretty sure they're the kind of band that if you type in
yes,
Antwoord,
I saw that pop up. Yeah, that's it. That makes
like
sense.
It'll bring up, and I don't think it's even message wise. I feel like it might be like, I don't know, coercion or something like mad like that. Okay. So I think they're kind of one of those. They're like, it's one of those bands that people like this. They would have gone, the shorts back in 2016. Yeah, let's get the shorts from the video, and it's like, that didn't age well. You know. So we grade it using our GREAT system. That's GREAT. Think of it like when you're getting your special attributes, right? You're assigning certain things to them. So what we're going to do is as we recap this movie, we're going to give points to each of these attributes here. So the GREAT system is made up of G, genre, R, these random specifics. We have E for environment, we have A for aesthetic, and we have T for tribes. So G, genre. So when we're talking about genre, we're talking about anything that is referenced by Fallout. So Fallout has genres like westerns. It also has sci-fi and other stuff as well. So if we see things that relate to Fallout genres, we are going to give it a point. If we see something else relating to a genre, we give it another point. So we kind of build up the points there. Random specifics here. So those are very super specific things. So if it's something that's very Fallout that doesn't fall into the rest of the category, but is specific, we go into random specific. So it could be things like perks that you notice that you usually get in Fallout that are in here. So certain behavior, dialogue, gameplay, mechanisms, these types of things. We then have environment. So this is the world building lore, as well as locations. So Wasteland is a good example of environment here. Aesthetic. So these are things like inventory items, clothing, things that look very Fallout, right? They look very Fallout. That also includes sounds. It includes gore and maybe visual jokes, these types of things. So it could be country music. It could be exploding bodies, right? It could be pre-war food, stuff like that you spot. That is the Fallout aesthetic. T is tribes, right? So these are groups and individuals that are populating the movie. So it could be that they are very distinct. They are analogs for another specific character. It could be that you just have a group of raiders, right? But then it could be that you have a group of raiders and they're actually called raiders, because sometimes they're not called raiders, sometimes they are, that type of thing. Do we have companions? Stuff like this. These are the kind of tribe things that we're looking at here. So again, that is genre, random specifics, environment, aesthetic, and tribes. And as we recap the movie, we're going to assign points to them. There is a cap of 6 points for each attribute here. So that means there's a maximum of 30 across all of them. So you can go 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, whatever, and you have 30. So you will score it at a maximum of 30. We also have a debuff, just like in Fallout, right? You might get you drink some beer, you get a plus to strength, but then you get a minus to intelligence, these types of things. Debuffs are a movie might have a lot of, say, aesthetic and a lot of random specifics or genre, but if there are things that are very not Fallout in the movie, we can give it a minus a debuff, right? So a minus for everything we see that's very anti-Fallout. The example we always give here is that we were watching Mad Max 2 Road Warrior, and there's a car chase. And there's just most of the movie is car chases, right? So that's very not antithetical, but it's not very Fallout. There are no functioning cars, so to be centered around car chases, we had to give it a -1 debuff. So we're looking for things that are anti-Fallout as well.
Great.
Great. So let's talk about. I'm calling it the Bad Batch, right? I've also been calling it just Bad Batch. I don't think does it matter?
No,
I don't think so. Okay, so we're opening with our hero, played by Suki Waterhouse. Her name, we find out later, is Arlen. She is in like shorts and t-shirt. She's given a prison denomination tattoo, right? I think it was BB5540. Is that right?
sure, yes.
Why not? There's a 5s, 4s, and a 0 in there somewhere. And then she's sent off into a fenced-off desert. From what I gather at this point, I'm thinking, oh, okay, prisoner sent into what is seemingly Texas desert. I guess this is New York City in Escape from New York, right?
Yeah, I thought that.
We're just sending them here. This is the prison. This is where you're going. Okay. It's somewhere in Texas. Arlen wanders for a while. She finds an old car. Doesn't work, but she just sits in there for shelter. She takes a moment, and then suddenly she is being chased by a couple of, I think I called them tough women, in a golf cart who catch her. So what do we think so far about the world that we're introduced to? How Fallout is it so far?
So yeah, glimpses of the wasteland in this. I mean, it's not really a wasteland as such, but it's just Texas.
Yeah.
Desert location, Mojave Desert. That was the immediate thought. And then a little tidbit was just on her backpack. She had a nuclear badge.
Oh.
Yeah, like a radiation symbol badge. So nice little random specific there.
You're not a big Fallout 76 guy, but you can A, get backpacks, and B, you can customize them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think they have patches, yeah. But you can customize them there. So Arlen, she's then chained up and gagged by these two mean women at their camp. We don't see much of the camp. It just looks like a dump, like a trash heap type thing. There's some 90s Europop playing. I believe it's diegetic because as Arlen is screaming, another woman turns it up. One woman then injects Arlen's arm with something from a very clean syringe and then proceeds to saw off Arlen's arm, and then later her leg. Using the heat of a skillet, the wounds are healed so she doesn't die immediately. I think we're to assume they're cannibals here, but right now we don't see any cannibalism, cooking or eating. We just see limb sawing off.
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe limb harvesting or something. She does grab one of the captors does grab a frying pan for a second. And I was like, are they cannibals? And then she used it to like sear her amputated leg closed. Yeah,
we get a glimpse of somewhere else in the desert, in this prison desert anyway. It looks like an outdoor gym with some big muscle guys and a pretty hench, shirtless Jason Momoa. The character is called Miami Man. He has that tattooed across his chest. Nothing is really happening here. I don't know if we're meant to believe that they're at the same camp. I think we learn that they are, but I don't get that sense here from what we're seeing here. I think they're going for a 90s music video aesthetic here. Are you aware of Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden?
No.
It's kind of it's very 90s, but it's kind of, the video is like vacuous vanity in the lap of the apocalypse.
Okay.
There's everyone's smiling, big grins, and they're all like women putting on makeup, guys working out or whatever, and super tanned and stuff. It's kind of got that vibe here.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a subtle influence, because it seems like Amirpour is a music head, and it's very prominent in this movie.
I've only seen her filmography in terms of films. Did she make music videos at all? Like, I know that's a route for many people. Like, did David Fincher make music videos?
I don't know. I would love to see a David Fincher music video, though. I'd imagine it have to be something dark. Let's see. It doesn't specifically. I'm not specifically saying that. Started off in music videos. No. It looks like she references sort of becoming assimilated in America through American pop culture, like via music. So
no way. David Fincher did "Express Yourself" by Madonna.
Okay, wow.
Amongst other things. My word.
This muscle workout scene kind of reminded me of like a GTA trailer or something. You know, people working out in the Miami heat, being oversized, etc. Yeah,
it's such a music video though. Like the look of it. Wow, he also did "Janie's Got a Gun" by Aerosmith and "Judith" by A Perfect Circle. Damn.
Wow.
Those are some 90s and 2000s vibes going on there. Anyway, well, it's interesting. It's bringing me up there. So we're now back with Arlen, who has now smothered herself in her own shit, hoping not to get eaten. One of the tough women unchains Arlen and then leaves her for a moment to grab a bucket so she can clean her. But Arlen grabs a scrap of, I think it looks like rebar, which I don't understand because there's no concrete buildings around. But it's like a metal pipe.
Yeah, I thought it was like a tire iron or something, but I think you might be right. It might be a rebar, yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's a metal bit of scrap. And she beats her captor around the leg and then over the head. I'm pretty sure she's dead here. Arlen then makes her escape by crawling around until she finds a skateboard to aid her escape and wheels off. Arlen is then dragging herself away, one arm and one leg on the skateboard until she passes out. A guy with a shopping cart and an umbrella finds her, picks her up and takes her to a place called Comfort, where people are friendlier and they take her in. Okay, so they've taken her in. She's at Comfort. I guess it's our first settlement, properly.
Yes. So yeah, I thought just the name as well, like the way it's sort of alluded to is very Fallout type of settlement. But I also thought her captor's settlement itself is repurposed airplane parts.
It's funny. I didn't see the airplane parts until like I think I got my notes a little later. That I'm like, somebody stood in one, and I'm like, oh, it's like an airplane graveyard or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, okay, I can see because at the moment it's just things are stacked up, and some of them are white, some of them are dirty. It all looks like junk, but you're right. There are like junkyards, right? And then I'm trying to think if there's any. Is there an airplane?
Yeah. There's a few.
There's usually downed, right, and crashed. But are they used as settlements? So
Megaton itself is it consists of airplane parts.
Okay.
In Fallout 1. In Fallout 3, which is Fallout 1 to a lot of people.
I just remember the bomb in Megaton.
Yeah. And then there's also the Boomers in New Vegas.
At Nellis Airport?
Yeah. So the airplane parts generally just being used as constructing of a settlement is quite common. So I had that down as a point. And then also, I'd harvesting body parts ? I think more so just like the gore and brutality of just limbs being chopped off. From an aesthetic point of view, like the way it was depicted with the frying pan, with all of that is, an aesthetic I think straight out of Fallout. And then I don't know how you feel about the settlement that's depicted in Jason Momoa's faction, I guess. I thought it's weird because you see it here, and my thought was that later on in the film it would be a lot more prominent, that these guys would all be just like these big muscle heads, and that would be their aesthetic. So at the time, I had that noted down as like, oh, that's his faction, and their identity is lifting weights, bro. and so therefore, like, that being really distinct, kind of, okay, this is our thing, this is what our faction looks like, would fit very well into Fallout, but it doesn't really end up transpiring into that, right? Like,
no, you don't really see anyone else from the settlement. Like, I think I called them tough women. They're pretty hench, right? Like, they're pretty hench. They're part of the whole working out and being jacked. But you're right. You don't really see them again. There's no culture, like, in terms of, like, we need to get this to do this, or there's no. It's just they just work out and then eat smaller people.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So 5 years later.
Cool. 5 months later.
Sorry, 5 months later.
Okay. Let me add comfort. I'm thinking of Sanctuary specifically.
Yeah.
In Fallout 4. So it's now 5 months later. Giovanni Ribisi, he's wandering around and ranting. Arlen asks him, like, what he's chatting about, and he says something like, you have to find out for yourself, or something like, he's given big crazy performance. I don't really know why. Arlen has an artificial leg, like a prosthetic leg at this point, and she's just kind of wandering around the settlement. I think I made a note here of when she's walking around the settlement. The outside, it's a settlement in terms of they have barricades, in that they have shipping containers surrounding it. So they've built defenses, which is interesting, which I thought. And then secondly, we see what it's used for later, but it gives me kind of Boston vibes, in that there's like buildings with pillars. Like older buildings with pillars. Like, I think we find out that it may be like it's a mansion for another character that turns up. But there was just something very Boston about it that was very Fallout 3, right?
Fallout 4, Boston.
Fallout 4, wait. No, you're right, Fallout 4, yeah, doy. Okay, so we're now back with Miami Man at the airplane graveyard. He's with a small child and is painting her portrait. I guess we're meant to think he's deep or something. He doesn't really say. He doesn't say anything. He just paints the picture of the girl with a rabbit. She doesn't have a rabbit. He just paints her with a rabbit. He then gives his paintbrush to the little girl. He then puts Walkman on, listens to Karma Chameleon, and goes out and kills and chops up a screaming woman. I don't know what we're meant to be getting out of this. It's the carving up is quite Raver-like, though, that we see here. We didn't see it before, but now we do. We see a bit of gore and limbs and stuff. So we're back then to Arlen in the comfort settlement. She's leafing through photos of women. I think they're topless women. She cuts off an arm, posts it onto her mirror, so when she stands at a certain angle and looks at the reflection, it looks like she has both of her arms still.
I thought that was quite a little interesting piece of, I guess, commentary, maybe, I don't know, like, where she's sort of repurposing these women, these topless models in the magazine, obviously sexualized, then using that as completing actually what is something that's very brutal that's happened to her. So I just found that like an interesting little note that the filmmakers, I think, are trying to point towards.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're not meeting them more than halfway. And say that is a very good literate reading of this.
Yeah.
Arlen is now loading her pistol with one hand and goes for a walk outside. She tries shooting a crow or something for some target practice. So Arlen's out for a walk. Miami Man's little girl and the surviving tough woman are scavenging in a trash heap for something. The woman reaches for something, falls, snaps her leg. Arlen stumbles upon the tough woman and the girl, recognizes her. I think she asks her, "Are you a bridge person?" I'm not sure what that means.
Is that the name of their settlement, of Momoa's settlement?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking bridge, but that's not really come up before. But are you a bridge person? Or maybe, do you play bridge? I don't know.
I feel like this movie alludes to a lot of lore, but rather, it doesn't allude to a lot of lore, but it alludes to things as if there is lore, but there doesn't feel like there is any.
Again, should have made it 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, I've made a note. Suki Waterhouse's accent flies all over the place for a minute. She's got a kind of a Texas Southern drawl accent.
Yeah, I thought the same thing actually. Because isn't this the first time she speaks? Does she speak to Giovanni Ribisi?
Yeah, she mumbles a little, like, but the accent comes and goes. But here it kind of flew all about the place. She kills with her pistol the woman. She seems a little surprised at herself that she managed to do it. But she was on the floor and she killed her in the head. I guess that she was capable of it. The kid is just standing by and tries waking up the dead woman. I think she's very much meant to be an innocent in this whole thing, not knowing what cannibalism is, not knowing what death is, and stuff like that. What are we thinking about the sort of villains here? In that, I think they're kind of identifying as we have our hero and we have our villains, but they seem to have children, and they seem to be surviving and scavenging. They're not just entirely marauding cannibals necessarily. Is that what we think is happening?
I think that the impression I get is not one of heroes and villains. I think obviously she's positioned very much as the protagonist. She's captured in a gruesome, horrific situation at the beginning, but the way that scene plays out, where she ends up killing the mother of the scavenging mother-daughter duo, is
she a mother?
Doesn't feel heroic. Oh, I thought so.
I wasn't sure because there was two women before, and now there's one, and then there's none. But I honestly I couldn't tell because Miami Man likes the girl like it's his daughter. I'm assuming it's his daughter.
Yeah.
Making massive assumptions. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. That was my kind of assumption there, is that's who she's with. But yeah, maybe not.
What do we think about the scavenging behaviour and what looks like a medical waste graveyard or dump or something? Is that very Fallout?
Yeah, so I had that down. The whole scavenging scene is very Fallout because it's got a hazardous waste warning and plus they're scavenging. So I kind of combined those two things into a random specific point.
Okay.
I also had her revolver as well.
It's a black one, right? A little black revolver.
Yeah. Mainly because it's quite prominent. It's like her weapon. It is like very much, her kind of unique weapon almost.
She doesn't name it though.
No.
Okay, so we now see the guy who found Arlen with his shopping cart. He spots Arlen walking back to Comfort, followed by the girl who's just following Arlen behind. The guy is Jim Carrey. The guy is Jim Carrey for some reason.
I didn't recognize him as Jim Carrey at this point. It was only later in the film when he pops up again that I actually really clocked that it was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Jim Carrey at this stage as well, I didn't mention it during the cast piece, but like, again, another name that at this point he's quite AWOL in his career, right? Like, because he just sort of disappeared for a while and was sort of popping up with strange appearances. I think in more recent years, he started to sort of, with Sonic and stuff like that, he started to pop up a little bit more in a more mainstream way.
I think he's only doing what he wants to do. And
it's definitely that.
So while I say maybe some of this is hype, which sounds like a dig, like saying something about hype people are making this movie, it's more like that people also hype themselves up and say, I'm interested in this director.
Yeah. Interested in the director, or just like, something that's a little bit weird maybe. But yeah, weirdly I didn't clock it was Jim Carrey in this scene, but I go on. Yeah, I mean, you explain what happens. I find it kind of funny.
So we're back at Comfort. Arlen buys the kid a bunny from a street vendor. I made a note, vendors are quite Fallout. So I threw that in there.
Yeah.
Although there's no livestock normally, right? They might sell bunny thighs, or something, but that's bunny.
No,
thighs,
but I think the way it's
fries.
set up, like the way they're laid out, it's exactly like Fallout, right? In a very ruinous location, with these little tables and just random stuff, and you're walking past these 1,000,001 stalls. It looks exactly like vendors do in Fallout.
So the kid and her bunny are with Arlen at Arlen's comfort home. Miami Man is now on a moped on the hunt for this kid. I assume it's his child. He finds the dead woman at the dump. He then finds Jim Carrey. He pulls an illustration out of the kid, because he doesn't have a photo, and asks if he's seen her. Carrey wordlessly asks Miami Man to draw him before he gives him the details of the location of the girl. So
I did like that. Like it was very realistic in that, you know, in this kind of post-apocalyptic scenario. I guess it is kind of for where they are. It's not very clear what's going on in the world, but like that in this situation where you don't have working technology and stuff like that, a picture of yourself is, you know, going to be valueless basically, or like priceless. Sorry.
Yeah. So hence he had to draw. I liked the idea that he had a picture of the girl. Yeah,
exactly. And I also was not sure when he started drawing him. I thought, because Momoa's character is obviously already shown as being vicious and is chopping up people and killing them, that he would actually go along with it, even that he wouldn't just maybe physically threaten the guy. But then I also thought when he started drawing, I was like, oh, surely at this point you just do a stick man real quick. But he actually he draws a detailed picture.
I think he likes. I think he just likes drawing.
He does it for the game.
So he's like, I'll go on then. I'll draw you one. But Jay draws a picture of him while he poses. So Miami Man obliges. Carrey jots down the word "find comfort." So I think he's got a clue.
Which also, I mean, maybe Momoa's character has heard of comfort, maybe, right? But it'd be strange for it to be phrased as find comfort. It's very vague. But if I read that and I didn't know what comfort was, I was thinking, okay, you've not done what I asked you to. You've not fulfilled your end of the bargain. You're just giving me a vague, I don't know what it is, like a little conundrum.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
He could have written comfort 12 miles north. Right?
Yeah, or just, you know, find comfort in that she's gone. Like, you need to find comfort in your world as it is and not chase after your girl. Like,
yeah, you got your priorities wrong. Okay, so we're back at comfort. Arlen is teaching the girl to apply Arlen's eyeliner for her, being one-handed and all. Miami Man is on a moped and is en route. There's a Burning Man style desert rave at Comfort. We don't realise it's Comfort until it starts happening. Where The Dream, a character, The Dream, played by Keanu Reeves, he's kind of dressed like a cartel drug lord, like a white shirt, pop collar, moustache, sunglasses. It's just kind of a desert rave going on right now, and he's making an appearance. The DJ there is a guy called Jimmy. It's a uncredited Diego Luna cameo for some reason. Again, I don't know why. Diego Luna said, yeah, I'll be in this. I think it's probably pre-Star Wars, but it's post Et tu m'aimes tant bien, right? So he drops some exposition about the Bad Batch being freaks and poor, and we're something, and we're here, and we're the dream, we're living the dream, or whatever. It's weird. He also has armed guards with Uzis that are just women in t-shirts, in white t-shirts, and some of them are pregnant. I feel like this is meant to be a metaphor for something, but I'm not sure. The Dream.
It's definitely all very cult-like, isn't it? Like
a little bit, yeah. The Dream, like, is there an equivalent in Fallout? Like a town leader? Like, there's usually somebody running a settlement.
Yeah, I had Jim Carrey's character down. No, sorry, Jim Carrey. I had Keanu Reeves' character down as a Fallout-like character. Yeah, there's a cult leader. Yeah, maybe you'd find sort of in charge of some random settlement that's behaving a certain way. I'm sure there are. I'm just searching now.
Like he's not. He's got the armed guards, but he's not necessarily a tin pot dictator. He's meant to be benevolent. You know, he's giving people raves and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's a direct analog, but I'd say he fits in very well. It's exactly the kind of character that you'd find in Fallout.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody is handing out acid tabs. So Arlen stops paying attention to the kid and takes one. The kid then starts following her bunny through the rave, and it ends up with the Dream, who seems to like the kid and takes her with her. I made a note. I said to myself at this point, if this isn't the shittiest, clunkiest Alice in Wonderland like reference ever, like acid, go find. Yeah, and then also what was the song "Go Find Alice"? You know, about LSD and stuff like that. I was just like, no, chasing the rabbit. I thought it was too clunky and too heavy-handed. But still, anyway, the Dream takes the kid in. Arlen is tripping slightly and somewhat thinking about where did the kid go, but she's not really looking for the kid too much. The movie's director decided to make a cameo dressed as a skeleton, draped in some LEDs. She hands the LEDs to Arlen. Arlen wanders off outside the walls of Comfort, dropping the LED lights, and starts walking around looking at the stars, which are kind of slow motion blurring. Miami Man finds Arlen during her trip out in the desert. It's still a bit blurry and slow. Arlen talks. Miami Man doesn't really say anything. We'll pause there for a second. Any desert raves in Fallout?
No. No. I mean, I guess, okay, I'll just spoil it ahead of time. Talking about debuffs, that party scene, I don't. We'll debate it later on, but I had it down as like a potential debuff because it was so. It reminded me of Starfield a little bit. If you haven't played that, there's a few locations there where there's some raves going on. So it kind of looked like a Bethesda rave, but it's not Fallout at all. You don't ever get any parties in Fallout, which is kind of strange in a way, because you'd expect still people to be throwing.
It's a little Matrix though. That's Matrix, right? That's like End of the World. They still have raves. Surely that should be precedent for this. Of like, yes, there are raves at the End of the World. We should have clubs. Yeah. Okay, so Arlen wakes up in the desert without her prosthetic leg. Miami Man has it. Arlen is now sober. Miami Man asks Arlen if she's seen the girl. He tells Arlen he will take her to Comfort, where she will go inside, look for the girl, or he'll kill Arlen. So I'm guessing Miami Man is known in Comfort, and because they have armed guards, he will be killed if he goes there. So that's why he needs Arlen. Arlen gets her leg back, and they head back to Comfort. I noticed at this point, I'm pretty sure Jason Momoa is Hawaiian, but I just realised he's doing a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
And keeps saying "vamonos" and stuff, and I was like, okay. I don't know about you.
I think he mentions that he's Cuban, I think, at some point.
They start talking later, but like I have this. I think it's mainly I don't like British, specifically English people doing other accents. Like
really?
It's something
so common though.
That's it. It is so common, but it bothers me, and I think what it is.
Do you mean English-speaking people doing non-English speaking accents?
I'm saying British, specifically English from Britain. Okay. Because I think if it's this thing, like if you're Welsh and you're doing American, good for you. If you're English and you're doing Welsh, I don't know. If you're English and you're doing Scottish, I know there's 90% of the country there going in Scotland saying like, doing our bloody accent, you bastard, or whatever. You know what I mean? And like, so it's that thing of like, it kind of bothers me. And it's also that I know that when they stop speaking, typically they're going to have received pronunciation. They're going to be speaking to Queens, and there's just something about like, yes, this character is an Italian immigrant to America at the turn of the 20th century, in Queens. I'm sure I can breathe life into this character, and it's like, what? Not an Italian would do that? Not an Italian American? Not even just American, but you could, yeah.
But wait, are you applying this to Suki Waterhouse then, or James Moore?
I think a little bit of both, but I think
Italians doing American, I'm totally cool with. I think sorry, English. I don't know what I just said. Did I say Italians?
You said Italians doing American.
No, not that. English actors doing American accents, zero problem. I think that they usually nail it as well, like versus the other way around. But I think you're right in that when it's stuff like if an English person's doing like a Welsh accent, or I think there's an element of like what's the word, like superiority or privilege. I don't know. There's something about that that's a little bit off-putting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about Momoa then playing?
I think it's right. I didn't mind it.
Latin?
My concern was it was, and I imagine there's some sensitivity to this, being that it's an English-American Iranian director and writer who probably had some say in who is cast here. So I imagine I don't think it was probably, you're ethnically ambiguous enough, that's fine, right? I don't think it was that kind of thing. I feel like it was probably a part was written and he was available and she thought, let's do it. I
mean, we're not above it, to be clear. I think. I think everyone's.
I think it's also the English received pronunciation doing other accents bothers me. I think because, like, for cultural context, posh people acting in England, specifically in England, but also in Britain, that is our nepotism. In America, you're a nepo baby. You are born into it. And the right person for that role didn't get it because you or mummy or daddy got you the job. And that's the same in the UK, right? In that specifically it's quite London-centric or whatever, but not always. But like the idea here is that like you the best actor in the country didn't even get into acting school because they didn't have the right coach, because the right coach is expensive and in London and you live in Manchester.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. So like, and so when it's these people of privilege being like, yes, I can play a Bad Batch Texan. Why not? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bothers me a little bit, but I've kind of tangent here. But like, I was more to say, I was surprised when I heard the Mexican accent. Or sorry,
it's kind of an interesting.
The Cuban. I thought Mexican because of I'm not perhaps
proximity, right? Like Texas.
That's
like,
it.
And I think this is the thing. Is that for me, I get it when it's a lower budget film.
Yeah.
And it's your first bigger budget, although it's small budget.
Yeah.
It's your first sort of higher production film. You've got the opportunity to have Jason Momoa, but in your script, it makes more sense for the character to be Latin origin.
Yeah.
So
that's why he's there. He's
exactly.
He's
and I think, to be fair, like there is an element. There is a little bit of an element of like, you can ethnically pass for different things, and I feel like Momoa just about manages that, I think, here.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit early Simpsons, right? Should we hire an Indian voice actor, or Hank Azaria? Can you just do an extra line?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean.
Yeah,
is that kind of thing? Should we hire someone, or can you just do it? Fine. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what I noticed, his Spanish accent. I was just like, oh, okay, and he keeps saying "Vamonos" to make a move faster. So Arlen is thirsty. They're confronted by a random guy on a red motorbike. It looks like he's offering them water in exchange for Arlen. It's in a gas can, so I thought maybe it was gas so he can go back for his bike. I don't know. Miami Man seems to accept and hands over Arlen for whatever is in that thing. He then quickly double-crosses the guy and kills him with a butcher's knife to the back, keeping the water and the bike, then chopping off an arm, I guess, for a snack later. Miami Man and Arlen take this guy's red motorcycle to Comfort, stopping for a piss break and to shelter from a brief sandstorm. There's moments there of intimacy between Arlen and Miami Man. Before I go further, what are we thinking about everything from waking up without a leg through to butchering this guy with a butcher's knife?
Oh boy. So the exchange between the guy with the fuel and the motorbike is a kind of fallout like exchange, obviously not in terms of the literal thing that's happening with the vehicle.
But there's slavers though, right? There are slavers and there is a human trade.
Oh yeah, I didn't really kind of connect that. Yeah, you're right. Slavers. He says something like, I thought he literally just wanted her leg initially.
He said, I'll give you water for the leg, and then he hands over the whole girl. Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay. That was me being naive, I guess. So yeah, you would say that is he a slaver? Or, I guess it's one in the same, but is he a slaver in the same sense of he's taking her back to a slave colony and that's kind of part of a trade, or is he just like taking her as his like personal captor for personal reasons.
Unsure.
Yeah,
Like, it could have been like he's seen that, like, oh, she's edible because she's missing limbs. It could be that, and he's just like, yeah, I'm hungry. The guy's a big guy, so it could be that. It could be like you say, like it could be for his own personal. He just wants to put her on his bike and rape her. I don't know.
So the exchange anyway, in any case, like that decision that Jason Momoa's character makes of making that trade, but then obviously it ends up being a double cross anyway. It seems like a full-out random encounter.
Random encounters, yeah.
Gosh, and then just generally, I mean, that from a film perspective, this is where the film's sort of flitting into different tones and things like that, and you've got them, in this kind of intimate. Okay, we're this is precursor to a romantic exchange under the while they're sheltering from the sandstorm. I was just a bit like, can we not?
Yeah. So let's go into that. So they're stopping overnight after the sandstorm, and they're chatting by the fire. They have a little bit of a heart-to-heart. Miami Man is in the Bad Batch because he's an illegal from Cuba. Arlen asks Miami Man what his number is. He's awkward about it. Wait, hang on. Yeah. So Arlen asks Miami Man what his number is. He's awkward about it, and then she spots an opportunity to steal his knife. Nothing really comes from it except a bit of sexual tension. Miami Man is then randomly shot, but not killed, by another random person who then steals the bike and tells Arlen to come with him. The rando takes Arlen to Comfort, which is now post-rave because it's very quiet and the streets are dark and nobody is around. What do we think about the little heart-to-heart? Is this what was bothering you? Was this like, we don't need this romance? Or was it that
I think
it's such a stylized movie, right? Honestly, I don't think there's enough of it being stylized, but it's a stylized movie in that you've got the sweaty muscle people, you've got the rave out in the desert, you've got all these visual things that tell you one thing, and then the movie is trying to tell you they are not this book that you are reading. They are telling you this man is deep. He paints, he draws, he cares for a child. Yeah, he also eats people and stuff, and I feel like it's trying to talk about depths and these types of things, but it's so it's heavily stylized, but not as much, I don't think, as it could be. And then when it tries to have this romantic element, it's again going into that you should go beyond what is skin deep. And I feel like it's like, no. I think I kind of want to just say, like, get lost. No, you're not selling me.
It's a weird one because contextually it's fine and it makes sense in the notion that, if two characters, no matter what their kind of backgrounds and whatever else is, one's a cannibal, one's just like a light prisoner. In this kind of high stakes scenario, they're together around a campfire. They may have a deep heart to heart, right? Contextually it's fine and it makes sense. I think from a film perspective, like what you're actually showing as part of your story, it just feels a little bit all over the place because it does at this halfway, or this is now past the halfway point, but from the halfway point onwards, when they finally come together, it does feel like it is setting up more of a kind of romantic or introspective kind of story for her. And I don't, maybe it's just like an expectation thing, but I just, from the first half, I'm just like, that's not kind of what I'm looking for from this. And I don't think you taking it in this direction gives me enough in terms of like depth or we're asking an interesting moral question here of like, this guy's a cannibal, but like maybe he's a cannibal because they're in this tough situation, which they are, right? Like that's probably they've not turned to cannibalism for the fun of it. They're in this kind of like resource constrained world.
When they were having their little heart to heart, he said, "You don't see the world as it is," right?
Yeah.
So like you're not seeing the reality, which is you're going to get killed or die. You need to eat to survive.
Yeah, exactly. So like but it doesn't. emphasize that as a moral dilemma of like, maybe, yeah, you're starting to become attracted to this person who's like maybe otherwise a good father or something like that, but is doing this horrific thing. It doesn't feel like that's the conundrum it's dealing with. It just kind of feels like almost like teenage fan fiction, like, you know, of, ooh, like Jason Momoa's sexy, let's pair this character up with him. I don't, you know, and he's bad and he's mysterious. That was kind of the impression I was getting. But
my mind went to tonight on ABC. He's a cannibal. She was eaten by the cannibal. The Bad Batch.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I was going. Like, it was going to be an awkward pairing. Yeah.
I mean, don't give Netflix any ideas. They'll probably have a reality show out soon enough.
What did you think about him not talking about his number?
Yeah, I thought that was going to lead to like some kind of reveal that he's like not actually
like he climbed in there himself.
Yeah, and but that doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, that doesn't really transpire, right?
Or maybe like it was going to be like he doesn't have a number because he decided he wanted to go in because he's an actual jerk, or like he's got
that. You know, that was kind of what I was getting.
Number 12 or something. So like she's 5,000 and something. Like he's been there killing people because he's been there from day one, right? Or that, I don't know. Like I was trying to read too much into it.
I think, but again, that's the kind of, I think that's the problem with the movie, and obviously we're really sort of talking heavily about the movie itself here anyway, ahead of the segment. But it is just signaling towards things that you think, okay, that could be deeper. Actually, no, it feels like it's just, oh, he's mysterious and, you know, doesn't want to talk about this thing. Like the, you know, character sees scars on the back of the rugged hero's back, and that signals towards some dark past. Like, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I thought it was maybe going to be like, oh yeah, like he's so sadistic that he ended up voluntarily going in there, and he's not a Bad Batch guy. Like, yeah, it's strange.
Okay, so it's the next morning. Everyone in town is sleeping apart from Arlen. She's awake and troubled. She grabs her gun. She wanders back to the desert. Arlen finds Miami Man's notepad left behind, but no Miami Man. She kind of leafs through it and she sees there's pictures. Wow, he's so deep. We get another look at Jim Carrey in the desert, and he finds Miami Man. He's collapsed on the ground. Carrey kills a crow, starts a fire. He throws in cash to keep it alight. Scrapping cash is quite fallout. Like, it's not worth anything where you are, so you might as well burn it.
That's true, yeah.
Carey tries feeding Miami Man some crow and nursing him back to health. The next day, Arlen is flipping through the notepad filled with drawings. She finds a picture of the kid, makes photocopies, and then starts passing them out looking for the girl. I thought having a functioning photocopier, like a Xerox machine, whatever, was interesting, but I feel like it's meant to be a quirk of the town or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I found it noteworthy as well. I just thought, oh yeah, functional printer. It did kind of make me think that there is stuff in Fallout where you're like, surely this, like, they've got functioning terminals.
Yeah,
there's some stuff there that's not kind of shown. That
there's lights that are working in places. They still have backup power of sorts. Yeah, true. Arlen stumbles across Giovanni Ribisi again. Nothing comes of it. I honestly don't know why he was.
Again, it goes to me. It just seems like that it was very much a casting call of who we can get, and it was just like, oh yeah, Giovanni Ribisi is available. He's kind of like a known face, and he just has the most inconsequential character. I did have him down as a point though in Tribes, because he kind of reminds me of. I mean, you come across these various crazy sort of cryptic NPCs in Fallout.
He reminds me of a guy that's raving, and then you give him Nuka-Cola, and then he's sane again. yeah. That kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So Arlen, she kind of looks, she's sitting like she's maybe given up a little bit, but then she sees the dream's entourage of women/bodyguards. I guess you can be both. You don't have to be one or the other. You could be a woman and a bodyguard.
I think the idea being that they're his women, basically. They're
his women. They have some of them are pregnant, some are not. They'll have, and again, I think it's meant to be very image heavy. This movie, where it's imagine you're got an Uzi and you're wearing a white like political t-shirt and you're pregnant and you're a bodyguard. I'm like, okay, I don't need to imagine it. I'm looking at it and a little underwhelmed, bless. So Jim Carrey is now then pulling Miami Man across the desert in his shopping cart. Carrey takes him to Miami Man's original moped, hands him back his weapons before departing. Miami Man, who previously said he doesn't care about anything. He's seemingly grateful and even a little sentimental. Carrey swaps Miami Man's knife for a snow globe.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Are you like me, where you were so like bummed out by the movie that there was something blatantly fall out under your nose, and you were like, whatever. Oh wait.
I think I don't know what I was doing at that moment. I must have looked away from the screen. Maybe I didn't notice the snow globe. Yeah.
I usually watch these movies twice at least. I did this in one. I didn't want to watch it again.
I did it in one.
So we're back at Comfort. Diego Luna's DJ booth has wheels and is driving around the town along with some skateboarders. And Giovanni Ribisi's there too. Arlen goes to the Dream's mansion to confront him, seemingly, or join him maybe. She doesn't seem to be armed. The Dream gives her like a politician's speech. Like about how he made the drains run on time or something. I don't know. He's like saying like he asks Arlen what she wants, and she says she wants to be the solution to something. He also talks about how he basically gives the town drugs, and that's how he keeps the place running and everybody happy. He says, the Dream says that the life is the dream or something. He seems to be convincing Arlen to join his kind of hit squad / harem at his compound. Or is he? She starts running a bath in a bedroom. Sorry, in the bathroom, joined to a bedroom. She doesn't run the bath in the bedroom. So it's making a bit of noise. And then she takes off her artificial leg and she pulls a gun out of the boot. It was smuggled in. Nobody knew. Arlen then takes one of the Dream's pregnant guards hostage and asks for the kid in return. The hostage escorts Arlen and the kid outside on a golf buggy. They then release the girl, the pregnant woman rather, and then they drive off on the golf buggy into the desert. They find Miami Man driving towards them on his moped. The kid is excited to see him. They embrace and celebrate. Arlen wants to like hang out or something, I think she says. Miami Man tries telling her there's nothing here. But then there's some hand holding. The kid asks for spaghetti because she ate spaghetti in Comfort. So I guess this means no more cannibalism.
God, you'd be so annoyed if you resorted to cannibalism and then your kid gets kidnapped by some cult leader who's like, running a society without cannibalism, and then they come back wanting spaghetti and you're like, yeah, if I had spaghetti, I wouldn't be doing cannibalism.
Yeah. I wasn't doing this for fun.
Yeah.
They eat the bunny. The kid cries. I guess they're a family now or something. That's the end of the movie.
Bada boom.
Wow. That's it, right?
Okay. Right. Cool.
I often I can talk about a movie with this, and we're doing a summary for like hours. I could, and I have to edit a lot of stuff out. There's not a lot there here, right?
No.
Did we miss anything great wise? Because we got to do our great score, right? So where are we at so far?
Okay, so genre. Right now I've only got one point in there, though I feel like maybe something else could be in there. So the main plot point of seeking revenge / family. So in her case, revenge, kind of, right? She goes and kills those bridge people, the cannibals. And then he's seeking his family, his daughter, with a kind of quest path of like teasing out from an NPC via a quest of drawing them, in this case, finding X location, go there to, following those breadcrumbs to try and find your family. That's a very Fallout main quest. Anything else in terms of the genre? I feel like it should, but because it's not. It's hard to talk about this without talking about the film itself. But like, it's not post-apocalyptic, right?
No. There seems to be a government outside the fence, which is also, by the way, just a fence. But I'm guessing there's guns somewhere. But you're right. It's not a science fiction that it has. It's not. There's no genre or quest other than the family, maybe revenge. I guess revenge is an option in Fallout 4.
But am I right in thinking that it's not post-apocalyptic, but it kind of is? It's got for Texas, it's a post-apocalypse. It just so happens that the apocalypse is
contained.
Yeah, and it's sort of,
I would say dystopia, in as much as they didn't. I don't think this decision was made easily. Like, they got to the point of crime is out of control. What are we going to do? Let's let them just figure it out for themselves. They didn't. You don't come to that as much as, say, modern governments and politicians will voice the idea of, just send them to an island or kill it. Who cares? I don't care. Like, I feel like this is a dystopian option of, we don't want them in society. You are done. You don't come back. So if you're an illegal immigrant, we don't send you away. We send you to the Bad Batch desert. Right.
The thing that I also wasn't clear on is that, so there's the warning sign at the beginning where the opening credits are rolling. I kind of got the impression, and maybe this is just political context, real world political context, where Texas has threatened to secede from America before, and it's been this general kind of wish of, I think, both sides.
How many states are there in Fallout? Is it like because I wasn't aware of this until watching the TV show, that they annexed Canada.
Yeah.
Like, is how many states did any secede, or did any?
There probably is an answer. I don't know explicitly.
Okay.
But yeah, the sign at the beginning reads, "Beyond this fence is no longer the territory of Texas. That hereafter no person within this territory." Oh, such a confusing read. Of Texas. That hereafter no person within the territory beyond this fence is a resident of the United States of America, or shall be acknowledged, recognized, or governed by the laws and governing bodies therein. Good luck. So that to me suggests then that Texas has been expelled or has seceded from America, because it's not that the laws of America don't apply in that state.
Well, no, they do. They apply to Texas, but in that place you're no longer in Texas. Or are we saying that you're in Texas and Texas has a field?
It's no longer the territory of Texas.
It's no
maybe
longer.
It's the other way around. Okay, right. Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. You're in Texas, but when you go into the desert there, that's no longer part of Texas. That's not Texas. It's not part of the United States. It's nothing.
Okay,
so
right. So
it's
not
international territory. It's basically.
Gotcha. So we don't actually know whether it's in Texas or like a part of Texas.
I imagine it was
geographically.
Geographically, I imagine it was Texas.
Yeah.
Like you're saying Mojave or something, but like it's no longer like.
Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I think that it gets a genre point, the dystopia, post-apocalyptic adjacent.
Vibes. There's no distinct apocalypse, but I would say definitely dystopia in as much as something happened. Like it's a bit like, I think, when we watched The Phantom, in that they're trying to talk about like the end of the world is about to happen.
Yeah.
And this is kind of it, like this, but this is more silly political event. This rather than goofiness, right? This is more whatever it is means that the world is about to end, and this is a signal that they're kind of at the end of their wick.
Yeah,
like we don't have resources for policing. We don't rehabilitation. Just get rid of them. We've got bigger fish to fry. We're about to get invaded by China or something like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of what the vibe I'm getting. So I'd say throw in dystopia for genre.
Yeah, and then so we've got that in the main quest plot line. So 2 points in genre. Anything else in genre?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Random specifics. So I've got nuclear badge on her backpack. I think that is a nice little shout out.
Okay.
Hazardous waste warning / scavenging. I've just got that combined as one. I think overall it just creates a very Fallout specific scavenging scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also you walk by like NPCs that are just scavenging.
Yeah.
Like there's some that are like hostile, not they won't attack. They were like, "Hey, get away from my stuff," you know. So there's definitely if there's scavenger NPCs, I'd count it.
Yeah. Characters being nursed. Twice actually. Yeah. So characters being nursed back to health from near death. I think both of her. When we don't see it on screen, but she's taken back to comfort, or she gets back to comfort, and will have been rehabilitated there. And then also Jason Momoa's character is rehabbed by Jim Carrey.
I'd say so. That's the dock in New Vegas, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The exchange between the random encounter exchange of fuel for the legs / what's the main character's name?
Arlen.
Arlen. Yeah, it's a very Fallout random encounter. And then we've got scrapping cash for fire. I don't know if that would go under aesthetics or not, maybe. But definitely like cash being a miscellaneous item, which is what it is in Fallout. So we're putting scrapping cash in random? Or,
yeah. I think that's kind of a behaviour thing. Yeah, scrapping cash. That's very...
Yeah. So
that's quite Fallout.
5 points in random. Environment. Okay, so we've got a few here. I think some of them might be debatable, others maybe not. Desert location Mojave. I think that's for sure, right? I think it's arguably the most Mojave looking setting that we've had so far.
Yeah, I'd give it that.
Her captor's settlement, repurposed airplane parts. I think that's fairly clear.
Yeah.
Vendors being like in Fallout. I think the depiction there is pretty like for like. Comfort equaling sanctuary.
I wouldn't. I would say the naming is kind of like it. There's no other direct like sanctuary as you're trying to build something and you get to choose what it is. Right,
okay.
It's a settlement and you're leading it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it not a sanctuary. I'm just having a look briefly at like comfort overall in the movie.
It is a bit Boston, as I said.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that element definitely it does look like a Fallout 4 settlement. Just I think everything about it. So you've got the what they call those the kind of lettering that you get. So the opening scene when Giovanni Ribisi is kind of walking in, it says you can't enter the dream unless the dream enters you. On one of those, you get them at like American sports events that you kind of individually change the
billboard
letters.
Or something. Or,
kind of. So you got one of the. I think just everything through the settlement between like the pillars, those signposts, the vendors being there. It all comes together to definitely look like a Fallout settlement that is distinct from the cannibal settlement. So I think I would include it. Maybe we just combine it with the buildings like in Comfort. The buildings like in Boston.
Yeah, I'd say so. Little combo.
Okay, so that gives us 4 points in environment. Anything else in environment?
I think desert, Boston, like they have a settlement. That was it. I think that was it from me. Okay,
aesthetics. So this is, inventory item type stuff. So I initially had tire iron as weapon, but just generally the rebar that she uses. I think there are rebars actually in Fallout as well.
I think they usually have concrete stuck to them. So
they do. Yeah.
Maybe. It's a melee weapon. Yeah.
I think it's specific enough. The revolver, again, I think if it was just in one scene, I would say no. I think that it's her, like, her, it's...
It's her weapon.
They want it to be her iconic weapon, I think is what it is. So we've got that. Harvesting body parts, I think the depiction...
It's pretty grim. It looks like a raider settlement, like where there's limbs, or sometimes there is a cooking station with blood.
Exactly,
I think it's got that vibe.
And then we've got a snow globe, so that's 4 points there.
Cool.
I think Tribes, this is where it's going to be very debatable. So I had Momoa's faction, specifically the bodybuilders, how they were depicted as being like a Fallout-like faction. I would definitely put that up as like a debatable point. I'm not super strong on it.
There's not enough to identify it, really.
No, and I think it combines with, so one of the other ones here is Cannibals. I think definitely Cannibals has to be in there.
Yeah, definitely Cannibals.
Yeah,
I think Momoa's faction, like it's an outdoor gym. They could be clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. I'm not so keen on that, but Cannibals, yeah.
Ribisi, is like the sort of crazy NPC, like you said, could be satiated by a rogue Coca-Cola.
Guy, is he called Sheffield or something, like in Fallout 4? Yeah, but like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, he's definitely there.
Yeah, and it reminded me of a little bit of, I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is in New Vegas when you arrive at Prim, I want to say. There's a little bit of a crazy character who he kind of reminds me of. What is the... Was it... No, maybe... No, Novak. Sorry. So yeah, in Fallout New Vegas, we can cut that a little bit. In Fallout New Vegas, Novak, there's an NPC that reminds me of Giovanni Ribisi's character.
Mm-hmm.
And he is... I remember the type of name he's got. It is... No Bark.
No Bark.
Okay. No Bark Noonan, yeah. He's, again, a little... character that seems a little bit off his rocker. He's a sort of hermit of the town, spouting wild, seemingly nonsensical conspiracy theories about local events. So yeah, he reminded me of him specifically. But there's similar sort of characters throughout Fallout. So Ribisi, typical crazy, cryptic NPC. Keanu Reeves, do we think his cult-like character is a...
There's something there. Because I was trying to think, like, he's not... There's Hancock in Good Neighbor, right, who's the mayor. And then there's Mayor McDonough in Diamond City. But neither of them have his vibe. Like,
they're not cult-like leaders, no.
Yeah, like, McDonough's barely holding on to power and is squirmy. And McDonough is a little more, like, he will give a speech and people will listen. But he's also direct action and will just kill people because they're, screwing stuff up. So I feel like he's not Keanu Reeves is the dream, because I feel like the dream is no action. Like if to steal a term, if it came down to the crunch, he'd run, right? You know what I mean? Like he'd hide. I don't think he would fight, which I think is what Hancock would do. But there's definitely, if you look at the world of Fallout, the dream would fit in there like a glove, right?
Yeah.
He's written for it, and I just can't feel like there's enough there. But I don't know. Would we include him but put him under aesthetic as a Fallout aesthetic?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
It counts. He's not a direct character. He's not an analog of a character. He's not a specific. There are politicians. I guess, like I mentioned, there's always a mayor of a town, but he's not even a mayor. Like he like I say, he's kind of he's shown as almost a cartel leader.
Yeah.
Like in his depiction and his was with guards and stuff. Like I feel like he's got that aesthetic, and he's part of the world, but he's not a specific character.
Gotcha.
But I'd say Cannibals, yes. Ribisi, yes. And then Slavers, I think, is next. Yeah, I think Slavers are part of it.
The Slavers, does that only really come up in that random encounter? And is it even
I think
specifically?
So. Yeah, and I guess you don't know that it is. I think it fits into something that I mentioned for a different movie, for Tank Girl. And I know you don't like when we reference other movies. You like them to stand alone. But in Tank Girl, I wanted a debuff for the fact that there's a lot of threat of sexual violence in that movie. And I felt like there was never any explicit in Fallout. Like, there's so many bad things going on, but there's never any explicitly, I am going to, you know, I would like to rape that character. You know, there's none of that is showing up, really. And so I've kind of felt like that. And with Slavers, this being he's either going to just rape her, which is not particularly Fallout, or he's going to eat her, which is quite Fallout. We don't know if this guy is a slaver. We know that the slavers in Fallout, and we are stretching to say that this guy is evolved. All we know is that he traded water for the girl, or for the leg, and the girl was thrown in for free. But yeah, that's all we know. We don't know if this is slaver. We don't know if this is a slave trade. We just know that there is a trade for a human.
So I'm not sure where you're landing on it. So is that not enough then? I would say it's not enough.
I don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
okay,
enough.
So we'll remove that. So that gives us 2 points in Tribes. The only other suggestion I was going to make is actually Suki Waterhouse's character herself. She does have quite, and maybe this sits in genre, maybe it's in Tribes. She's a very Fallout silent protagonist type of character. Her setup, you know, either being put into this prison, dragged off by cannibals, and then you kind of start the game there, and then she doesn't speak very much throughout the film. She's kind of morally ambiguous.
Let's can we combine it with another one, which is Fish Out of Water, which is emerging from the vault to the wasteland.
Yeah. Because she doesn't really know about. She's new to the way things are done.
Yeah.
So under Tribes still, I think.
Tribes, yeah. I'd
Fish Out of Water.
Fish Out of Water protagonist, yeah.
Yeah. I think that works. Okay. So
let's recap so far before we look at debuffs. So we're looking at, so for genre, we had, let's just look at the score. So we had 2 for genre, 5 for random events, 4 for environment, 5 for aesthetic, 3 for Tribes, which puts this at 19 points for the great score so far.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything anti-Fallout to debuff this?
I think there's 2 things, but I don't personally count them as 2 different points, because so the 2 things are the party scene.
Yeah.
That's definitely one where I'm like, that really stuck out. And I guess in the kind of dystopia, post-apocalypse world, obviously in general, we think that depiction is fine, but specifically as it relates to Fallout, you don't see that at all in Fallout. There are no parties. It just looks like, any other kind of rave at a club. So that was quite un-Fallout-like. I think maybe the way to put it is the tone of the movie. Because the other thing is, there's a sort of sense of, when she's high on whatever it was, E or something, and she's kind of having what to me again looked to be signaling towards like an existential moment, or sort of not introspection, but you know, when a film is very much dissecting a character, maybe a character is very emotionally distant and they're finding themselves through the journey of the film. That scene felt very much, there's when her and Momoa are together, there's a lot of moments like that feel like very kind of like introspective, existential, that kind of vague notion that doesn't exist in Fallout at all. There is no introspection in Fallout. There is no kind of, you know, dreamlike trippy sequences where the character finds themselves. But I don't think either of those should count as 2 separate points. Personally, I think it's just generally that the tone of the film is not, it's not like that it's too self-serious. It's just like, it's kind of separate to that scale. It's just a little bit off out here in a way that is completely not focused in the way a Fallout-like movie in this scenario would be focused. The things that it would be focused on, it might be focused on the survival element or maybe the comedic element of things, whereas this is focused on an aspect, a tone that just doesn't exist in Fallout.
I'd say they're separate things. I think you might argue that the party is an indicator of the wrong tone or a symptom of the tone, but I think the rave is, and then the moving DJ booth, it's completely wrong for the vibe and what have you. I would say they're both two separate debuffs, but I'm going to add in an actual extra point into aesthetic because you just reminded me. They're taking acid or whatever. It's chems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Chem
Yeah.
use. So I'd say there's two debuffs, and then we'll add in chems to aesthetics.
Chems. So we go up to 6 there, and we've got 2 debuffs. So it brings us to a total great score of 18 out of 30.
18. So right now that puts it at. So it's about 6 out of 8. So below it is the Phantom with 17, and above it will be Tank Girl with 20. So it's somewhat Fallout-like movie.
Yeah,
Number
I think
one
what we're finding is
Escape from New York.
the score system seems to result in this kind of normalization around the 20 mark, and it's kind of like there where you're like plus or minus a few points. That's kind of where the scale is, which you kind of expect because like we're picking films that are ostensibly Fallout. We could pick a random film and probably it would rack up like 6 points or something, maybe just out of chance. So it kind of makes sense.
We could watch random movies and try and make them like how Fallout is, I don't know, a Marvel movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but we could go about it that way. But let's see how desperate we get. Have we run out of our list of Fallout like movies?
Okay, so yeah, that's the Fallout scale, the great scale. What about generally from a general movie?
So how do we feel about
scale?
this? So how do we feel about this as a non-Fallout movie?
Yeah,
just as a movie.
And what would you score out on your letterbox? Those two pieces. What are you saying?
Well, I've kind of
I think you've
made
already
clear. Yeah. I'm not. All right,
I'll tell you what. I'll flip it a little differently because I think we've already kind of talked about. What do you like about the movie?
The thing is, the things that I like are the things that are still not good enough. There's interesting ideas. Like I feel like they're trying to do stuff like I feel like Keanu Reeves and Jason Momoa and Jim Carrey are like they're meant to be cast against type, right? I think is the idea, and the idea, the world here is it's strange and it's stylized in that things are certainly in a way meant to be turned up to 11, right? And like where you got the super jacked cannibals, and then you got the freaky trippy people at Comfort or whatever. But it's not enough. It's not turned up that far. Like it's gone from 5 to 7, you know. And so you get a taste of things being a bit stylized. So I like those ideas. Like I'm just going to come out and say I'm going to give it 1.5. But what I will say is, it reminded me of another movie, which I think I've mentioned this movie before, and I'm going to have to rewatch it. Southland Tales, right? Is it Richard Kelly who made Donnie Darko? It was this follow-up, and maybe it was at Cannes, and maybe it was booed at its screening. And what I like about it is that it feels like somebody else doing a Terry Gilliam movie. And the characters, they're all cast against type. You have comedians playing terrorists, right? Or a psychotic killer. You have The Rock playing an anxious hero, but he's super anxious. And what's happening is like you're expecting the jokes to come, but they don't. You just get somebody murdered. You're expecting The Rock to bust out the muscles and start wrestling and fighting people on action. They don't. He tries to figure things out. And so there's there's a function to it, like to that casting, in that it's a movie about the world maybe ending and exploding or imploding, and nobody really knows what's happening. And you as a viewer, you don't really, or a watcher watching this movie, you don't really know what's happening. And I felt like that was a successful version of casting against type and making a stylized mad characters that are Terry Gilliam style. That is kind of what this is going for. And I can't figure out why it doesn't work. I think there's just not enough color. There's not enough character. I feel like things just fell together, and they're making the best of what they're doing, or like they got good opportunities and they took them, but it just didn't work for the movie. And that's, I feel like, what bothered me about it. And like there should be positives. Like I say, there's positives, but I like the ideas. And as I said before, like this feels like a passion project that people turned down for decades, except this is her second film. So maybe it's the kind of thing that maybe would have been better had the budget been bigger, the more you got the cast that you absolutely was desperate for, right? These types of things. Or you didn't have to cut the dialogue down for budget reasons, right? To just shoot less. It kind of feels like the kind of thing that maybe if it was redone, maybe I'd like it a lot more, but it feels there's not enough. Yeah, 1.5 for me. What about you?
Score-wise, I sort of hovered between different scores throughout the film, because there was points at which, like you kind of allude to, there's potential, and you're like, okay, if this builds up to something, this could, I was sort of hovering around 2.5. I think I ended up falling down to a 2 in the end. I think I don't think the budget would change things. I actually think she does quite a good job with the budget in terms of how the film comes together visually. I think it looks quite cohesive. I think it looks like more than a $6 million movie, especially with the cast.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, right? I was thinking it doesn't necessarily look like, there's not a lot there, but it doesn't look like a cheap movie.
No,
to film in a desert, to have the cast or whatever, to be doing this in tough environments, to even creating something like a sandstorm on camera. Like, I'm sure none of that is cheap.
Yeah, and
so there's money spent, but what? I guess at what cost? I guess is the question.
I think that's where, to me, it just signals that the director, and I've, like I said, I already had that movie on her first movie on my list anyway, so I'll check that out.
I'm very curious about that as well. Yeah,
because to me it feels like the direction is actually fine. I don't think the direction is the problem. I think the concept and the script is not good. I think if you'd redid it with a bigger budget, I think you'd still have the same problems. I think you would need someone else to write the script. The ideas need to be fleshed out, deepened. Because I think it's perfectly fine to pivot into something that is a bit more self-reflective and have those kind of existential moments, or those like almost romantic moments where it's focused on their relationship, maybe, as it juxtaposes with his kind of harsh background. That's very much whitewashing a cannibal, but it doesn't land with any of that stuff. All of the little things are just signals to something that isn't there. So it's all very surface level. So yeah, I don't think it's great. I think it was, one thing I do appreciate about it is that it's, I said this about, again, referencing previous films, but like a Beneath the Planet of the Apes as a sequel, I'm like, this is such a wild direction to go in for a sequel in terms of the choices that are made. I appreciate that it's different. I appreciate that this is narratively different. It's not that the culmination is some kind of like crazy showdown at Keanu Reeves's lair, and but at the same time that does, the flip side of that is the flaws of the movie, because even just when it comes down to like when she loses the kid, well, the way she gains the kid in the first place, the kid kind of just follows her along, and there's not really a strong narrative reason or character reasons to why the kid would come along with her, or why she would be okay with the kid coming along with her. But the kid just comes. and then the kid just gets lost. Just why? Not because something of a choice that she makes, really. Like, yeah, she takes some drugs, but it just kind of happens. The kid. She randomly is at a party. It's not like she's made a choice to go there. She takes a pill. She's got no obligation to this kid at this point anyway. And then the kid disappears. It kind of, everything just sort of happens without the impact. So yeah, it's not great. I don't think it's awful. It's just, yeah, not one that I'd go to again. And there's probably, if I didn't already have the film on my list, I probably wouldn't be so intrigued to dive into her other films, but I will be anyway.
No.
Cool.
So what are we at 5?
A 2, yeah, 2.
2. I thought I was being a dick saying 1.5, but okay, 2.
My question for you is, how would you mod the Bad Batch into Fallout?
I struggled with it because as if it was not clear, I was trying to pay attention and I kind of struggled with it a little bit. But I figured it out. Here's the mod. I think it needs to be New Vegas or Fallout 3. I actually think you can probably do it in Fallout 4. Which is, I think it's maybe some sort of survival hardcore mode, maybe. You can lose limbs. So you get limb damage, you've lost it. You switch to a left hand for your weapon. You're a bit like in games where you need to two-hand weapons if you're not strong enough to one-hand them. Your accuracy comes off, that type of thing. You'll have to limp around or hop very slowly. But you can buy prosthetics from vendors.
Yeah. And maybe they can even upgrade you.
Maybe upgrade them. That's it. So you get robot arm, robot leg, that type of thing. But I think that's what it would be. I think it is you lose limbs. But if you lose a limb, like in the first, like you're still in the vault and you're like, I don't know, a rad roach has attacked you and you lost your limb, you're kind of screwed until you make it somewhere.
Maybe it can randomly grow back with a mutation as well.
Yeah, maybe. That'll be fun, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
I was going to have a settlement like... what is it called? Hope? No. Comfort, there we go.
Yeah.
A comfort settlement with a leader like Keanu Reeves, who, by the way, I didn't mention, I actually really liked Keanu Reeves in this. I think he was the main casting win in his role. I think that had he been just like the overall antagonist throughout the entire film and you kind of let go a lot of the other people, I think he would have been more interesting. But I would have him as the kind of cult-like big bad. Like we were saying, we know that it fits in Fallout, but there's not a direct analog. I would make it a direct analog. He's almost exactly as he is in the movie, where he's like, got his wives who are, gun-toting henchmen as well.
Would you build a settlement in the Mojave, or would you repurpose something like Good Neighbor, where you got the town, you got everything, and then you've got, I swear there's a balcony or something, or where there's the balcony where you meet certain characters. Like, would you repurpose a town to be Comfort, or that already exists, or would you build Comfort in the middle of the desert?
As in, you mean you as the player would build it?
The developer, you're making this mod. You're making this mod.
No, I would build it from scratch. And actually, the way in which you come across it is you load into the game, and you get like the radio signal type thing sometimes when a DLC is installed, or new radio signal is heard, and you listen to the radio signal, blah blah blah. In this case, what would happen instead is you get the quest pops up, and it's like a settlement in the horizon has appeared with disco lights. And you see disco lights in the darkness deep into the horizon, and eventually when you go towards it, it's Comfort, and they're having like, this is where you introduce the unfallout, like you make, because I think it makes sense, right, to have parties in the wasteland. I think it makes sense. So there's gonna be a party town, drug fueled, chem fueled, led by a Keanu Reeves like cult like person, and yeah, you have to go in and retrieve some kind of MacGuffin, or whatever it is.
Okay. What's the MacGuffin? I guess it's the child. Or is it an escort job? You've got to get the child from A to B?
Yeah, it could just be like, some NPC has said like, oh, my kid's been taken or something, whatever it is, some MacGuffin, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Got to rescue them from the dream.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that happening. You know what? Keanu Reeves would be game to
He probably
voice,
would, yeah.
to voice it. He did Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. Hey, do you want to know what we're watching next?
I do. I'm very intrigued.
I'm going to share my screen just so you can see the
I missed the wheel. We used to have a wheel.
That was for the other one,
for a previous podcast, yeah, a
that was
pilot
fun.
podcast.
That mutated into this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you the name, and then I'm going to show you the awesome poster. It is from 1987, directed by Giuseppe Vari. It is Urban Warriors.
Oh, I like that cover.
3 technicians working in an underground laboratory discover that nuclear war has destroyed most of the above-ground world.
Oh.
After a brief search for food, the trio find that gangs of murderous mutants want them for their next meal. Will the scientists be able to find other uncontaminated humans to rebuild society with, or will they end up as mutant Chow?
What? This is just Fallout the movie. We found it. We're done. The search is over.
I think on the poster, it's a buff dude in a leather vest with a big gun, and there's some guys with mohawks and crossbows behind. Crumbled city ruins, and then also there seems to be helicopters and motorbikes, so that might be debuffs. Let's see how heavily they feature. My assumption here is it's just another Italian Mad Max knockoff.
Yeah.
So we're going to get all of the fallout of Mad Max, plus probably some boobs, probably.
Probably.
it is 1980s Italian. So I'm thinking that's my assumption here.
Well, that sounds like a great choice.
Great. It's available at the moment in the UK, I believe Amazon Prime and Amazon Prime with ads for free.
Sweet. All right, let's do it. Well,
Forward to it.
That was the Bad Batch. The baddest of batches.
Oh,
The batchiest batch to have
Yeah.
emerged.
do you feel like it's the movie that you're least likely to revisit out of all the movies we've watched?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
Even
Cool.
more so, even more so than She.
Yeah, she was kind of fun in places. This wasn't fun. That's the thing. It wasn't.
She was
fun.
delightful. I'm probably going to rewatch She.
This was
and
intriguing
Mad Max.
in places, but not fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Bad Batch. Thank you very much for listening. I've been LJ. I almost said I've been Ricky. I've not. You've been Ricky.
I've been Ricky. You, the audience, have been Ricky.
Yes, we're all Ricky.
So
Gary. See you around.
see ya.
Bye.